What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Hinderer Eclipse. This is designed, of course, by Rick Hinderer himself. This particular one is the Bowie blade grind. This one has a beautiful 3.5-inch Stonewash blade. It's standard titanium frame lock with G10 on the show side there. So, standard stuff. 20 CV super steel, so it's a super steely knife. And it comes in at the Hinderer inflation-adjusted price of $425 for 5.2 ounces of blade. So that almost attains that $100 per ounce of price sweet spot. Ha ha. But you can go ahead and attain that with, of course, I have the other side. I'm going to go full tie on this one. So yeah, it's typical. In terms of comparison knives, really, there's you're talking about the highest end range of kind of heavier use, not heavy use, I would say. In terms of like on a farm or something, you're just not going to beat that up. There's plenty of others you could, but the ZT0562, this is actually the sweet quark ano pattern done by USA Made Blade. Just thought I would go ahead and get one of those pretty sweet dressed up ones, but of course Hinderer designed on that one. And then, of course, there's a lot of shared design you can see with the XM18. In fact, we'll go ahead and move this one out of there. And you can kind of see the blade shape, of course, other than that Bowie versus the Spanto here. But very similar shapes. The one thing you're going to notice, which comes up actually in the con section, is it's missing these little jimps on the frame lock release there, and that's actually one of those things that I think should have been there. And then, of course, there's no scalloping on the titanium show side there, but I did verify that in the full tie one that there are scallops built in. So there's going to be a lot of comparisons here with the XM18. We'll come back to that. The pros of this knife, wow. This actually solves one of the major ergonomic problems of the XM18, which is the flipper landing zone. So as you land here on the XM18, you end up tearing your fingers on those last two little jimps back there that are just kind of nasty. And this doesn't have that. And not only does this not have that, this has kind of that nice little, cutout there that is just very comfortable. This one would obviously be more, better. This one would be better with gloves on the XM18. But yeah, this solves that. And it does have a second finger choil down here for your second finger, which I don't mind. The only thing that really prevents is, it creates a little discomfort if you're doing pull cuts. Anytime you ever have that second finger choil, but I have a couple Brian Ty knives, and so I've kind of gotten used to that. His are actually more pronounced than this. This isn't so bad. So I love that. This is an ergonomic champ, absolutely. I found that this one actually is a better slicer than the Spanto. It's actually, it has a pretty thick, it goes out pretty thick there, and it's not overly petite at the end. But yeah, this one just sliced through boxes and destroyed them down. So I cannot say the XM18 Spanto did that. So very good on that. Of course, it has great Hinderer modularity to ensure maximum customization, as well as outlay of your dollars. And this flipper, for some reason, they nailed it. I don't know if it's much different. I think it is. It's actually a flatter flipper. You can see that versus the XM18 kind of tails up, and the XM24 is even the worst. So this just nails that perfectly, where it doesn't cause pain and gives you all the fun in the flipping. It also has very useful thumb studs as well, which also act, of course, as the stops. You can backside flip it as well with that one. I actually found it to be a little bit easier than the XM18. So yeah, this is definitely an ergo champ. Very, very fidgety, and kind of like all that. On the con side, this one definitely has the typical disdain for lefties, as many frame locks do. But this one, as most Hinderers do, it's just going to be tip up or tip down right side. I guess you could go, you could put that in your left pocket and go with tip down, but no tip up capability there. But you do have the tip down left-handed. Would be okay. And also, this is just, I mentioned this earlier, but this is what I really think is a problem, is missing the jimping right here. So that, at least with this particular G10, without any scalloping there, it's tough to kind of get your finger in there. and you end up slipping off because it's pretty slippery titanium. And so I think that's the one complaint I would have over the XM18. You know, so those are really the only two weaknesses. Actually, I find that on the whole, the carry profile of this one, you know, again, it has a great one-handed Hinderer clip that you can put in your pocket and take out one-handed. This is truly, you can utilize this very well one-handed. I can't find a whole lot of other weaknesses on this particular blade. Very, very nice. You know, overall, I'd say this is an ergonomic champ among Hinderers. Very comfortable. Like I said, I could see actually utilizing this for an hour, cutting down boxes. Whereas I don't know some of the other ones that are kind of square, and you know, this is square. There's not a lot of chamfering, but some. But boy, it's just, yeah, this is really, really good. I'd actually have to say it's probably maybe not quite as good of a fit as the 0562 tie, but you know, better than, I just, for whatever reason, I think it's definitely better, and I enjoyed this particular one. You know, the Bowie one also is very piercing capable, maybe much more than the Spanto. So it's an ergonomic champ. Again, it's in the same Hinderer price range. Comes in many different blade styles. This happens to be the Bowie, whatever. You know, it's another one. It's out there, and these are, I think, on their swan song in terms of, I'm seeing them start to disappear a little bit. So they might not be making these for a little while, but I did see some Harpoon Spanto styles of these. So keep an eye out for those, and I hope you do have a great day. If you found this of use, go ahead and like and subscribe, and have a great day for yourselves. Take care now. Addendum. Following this scale swap to the full titanium, I learned a couple things. One is that the 3/16 that I was used to on the XM18, therefore probably the tool, that doesn't fit here. And these aren't Chicago screws. I just realized these are actually T6s on each side. And you have, you know, so T6 Torx will change that out. So for good or for bad, in one sense, it's easier because when you're going to change the scale, you just have to do the pivot screw and then those, and everything else stays together, so you don't necessarily have to have the Chicago screws and spacers coming apart. So, you know, some good and some bad. I would have preferred T8s there, so I'm going to put that in the con category, just as an addendum. Take care.